Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 358 Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars. We're here in Cedar Lake Speedway in Wisconsin. We're set for another edition of Monday Night Madness. Open 358s, Rebels, Renegades about to take shape here at the home of some of the best racing here in sprint car racing. Not just sprint car racing, but all of dirt track racing, as we're set to go for the Coast to Coast Racing League's Monday Night Madness once again. It's week number 5 of the 2025 summer season, and we've got the action covered for you here on this Monday night. Glad you could join us. Marty Sakala with you on the call. We're getting right down to things here with qualifying for our Open 358 division, brought to you by Venom Racing and Full Throttle Motorsports. Oh, great. Not again. All right, should be good. Apologies, we're going to have some technical difficulties here throughout the. We're going to have some technical difficulties throughout the night. Got some gremlins that I've been dealing with all day long. But qualifying underway now for Open 358s. First driver we're watching is B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the number 31. Sets the bar here on lap number 1, 14:07. William Watson currently second, 14:119. Joe Musso third, 14:396. Here comes B-Temp off of turn number 4. Better lap in him, doesn't look to be the case. Here comes William Watson off of turn 4. He's down to third. It's Mike Brewer goes quick time at a 14:05, 1:40:47 for the Brew Crew. Mike Brewer. Michael Vitale, the jokester, though, purple in sector number 1. He's 4th quickest, though, on lap 1 at a 14:12. Brewer's second lap, 14:2:37. Here comes the jokester off of turn 4, green in sector 2. Does he have it? No, 14:12 stays the lap after the 14:17 on lap number 2. They just called it. Kelly Wheeler 6th on lap 1 at a 14:15. Purple in sector 1 this time, but Kelly goes up to 4th at a 14:084. Here comes Bob DeGood in car number 7 off at turn number 4. Completes his final lap up to 19th quickest, but does not hit anything. 14:36 his time. Good car count with us here this evening for the Open 358 as 26 drivers check in here with us. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you here on the call. Bear with us if the stream looks a little bit off the mark than normal. We have some reduced internet here at home for right now, but hope to have that fixed up next week. Last week, I had a glitch going on my Streamlabs. Technology's not been nice to me these past few weeks, so we had to pre-record Open 358's Rebels and Renegades. If you missed any of that action last week, all the features are currently up on the YouTube channel. Title name C2CRL Monday Night Madness 7 July 2025. It's got all the features set from last week at USA International Speedway. So we're ready to go for heat race number 1 this evening. As always, heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's the way they line up. As the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, the 75, has it on pole position. To his outside, it's Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in car number 4. Road 2, it's Kelly Wheeler starting 3rd in the 110. To his outside, it's Mike Brewer in car number 39. The 3rd row has Logan Wentz driving the 018. Next to the 18 is the Moose, Joe Musso in car 28. 4th row this evening, Bob DeGood racing in the 7 to his outside. Big congratulations to this man. Explain why in just a moment. The lowline master, Brennan Lacey, in the 114. And the final car on the racetrack just made his way onto the grid. And the number 518, that's 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Field rolling off here for pace laps. Big congratulations goes out to Brennan Lacey as last week on Saturday, 1 week from Saturday, got married to his now wife Rebecca. So very happy to see that. We wish you two great love down the road. But we're set to go for the first heat of the night. Lights are off, 1 lap to the green flag. Top 4 transfer in tonight's feature. And the winner starts on pole position. Drivers from 5th on back will go to our 10-lap B main. Pace car speeds on the pit road. Barney's got the green. We're underway. Good start from Giroux in car number 75, but Kelly Wheeler touched an inside Uke tire. A little bit sideways, but was able to catch it. Brendan Lacey, meanwhile, caught the wall. He drops the 114 to the back of the pack in 9. Mike Brewer trying to make his way around the outside of Kelly for the 3rd spot. And Brewer has it off at turn 4, so it's FTM 1, 2, 3 in heat race number 1 already. Wheeler trying to find some bite through 1 and 2. And you can say the same thing as well at the same time for Scott Rayome. Slide Job Scotty now takes a peek downstairs on Giroux for the 2 spot. But Giroux clears on his teammate for right now. Oh, but he caught the wall there that time. Didn't want to do that. But we've got 3 laps to go in heat race number 1. Final transfer spot belongs to Kelly Wheeler for right now. First driver out, that number 20 of the Moose, Joe Musso. Here comes Rayholm downstairs for the race lead. Can he get it from that Canadian maple syrup ride? He cannot. Giroux hangs on. Ooh, man, big slider from Wheeler there. Catches Brewer sideways. Musso has to check up and through to fourth. Hello, Logan Wentz. With 1 lap to go. That's for sure going to make Joe Musso very angry. And same with Mike Brewer. They come off at turn number 4. Checkers wave in heat race number 1. Trevor Giroux wins. He starts on pole position. Rayholm second, Wheeler third, Wentz fourth, Brewer fifth, Grandy sixth, Lacey seventh, DeGood eighth, and Musso ninth. So I believe we've got 3 heats for you this evening. And so we'll move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. As Harold Klump puts the dirt track untold number 2 on pole position to his outside, the bandit Randall Dixon in car 11. Row number 2, it's the jokester Michael Vitale in the 213 to his outside, the Sam Akonda. Last week's winner, Sam Bachman in the 007 at USA. Row 3, Randy Shreves, he's in car number 56, and to his outside, it's Brian Moore Sr. in the 55. Row 4, Mason Hine in car 89 to his outside, John DeBias in the 21. Rounding out the grid, it's Billy Roberts in car number 19. Your point standings through 4 races on the year. Bachman with 3 wins this season currently leads by 17 on Scott Rayholm in second. Logan Wentz is third, who is about 34 points behind. 42 back in fourth is Clay Christopherson, and Kelly Wheeler rounds out the top 5. Wheeler is 7 points back on putt-putt. A reminder, keep in mind, a reminder that we have 2 drop races. Drivers can drop their 2 worst point races at the end of the season if they have raced all 11 races on the schedule with us. If you miss one, you can only have 1. If you race 9, you only get 9. Green flag is out for Heat 2. Winner starts at the outside of the pole position. Lot of yaw for Klump there through 1 and 2. Stacks up the field. And Sam Bachman is already gone. Not even a quarter of a lap through. And he got the Chili's triple dipper combo. But we've got a huge junkyard in turn 1. They are scattered, smothered, and covered. Waffle House there. As Brian Moore and John DeBias got flipped on their noggins. And taking advantage of that, now in 4th after starting back in 9th, Billy Roberts, the number 19, with a huge lead on Harold Klump for that final spot. 6.6 seconds on the driver, the number 2. There was so much yaw that came in from Randall Dixon there. Just went too deep there, overshot it. Look at the replay, show you what happened with Harold Klump. So as he's hanging on for a 3 wide, Vitale catches Dixon and then catches Klump. Brian Moore, the first one to flip. He hooks the 21 as DeBias went up and over. Roberts, though, meanwhile, working on Randy Shreves for 3rd. This is impressive stuff. Let's see what Billy can do. Was that it? Oh, nope. That may have been my internet. Roberts trying to grab that bite there through 3 and 4. On board with the number 19. Shreves to the line, edges out for 3rd at the white flag. It's still Sam Bachman leading by just under a second. We'll watch the race for 3rd here at the end. Roberts hanging out low. Shreves trying to get the bite off for turn number 4. Checkers wave. Give it to Shreves by 700ths. So your top 4 again, all in the show, and it's Sam Bachman that took it all. Heat race 2 is done. We now move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. It's Mike Weeda on the pole position in car number 66. Next to him, it's Glenn Sharp racing the 99. Row number 2, William Watson in the number 23. To his outside, it's B-Temp Brandon Templeton, the 31. The third row has Bud Molyneux in the 883 and the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker, in the 513. Final row this evening, Dean Reynolds in the 79, and to his outside, it's Doc Mike Watson in the 006. A reminder, don't forget, next week, our biggest event of the year in the Coast to Coast Racing League, the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals from Monday through Thursday. All proceeds going towards the Steve King Foundation. Open to all current Coast to Coast members or any new that are 3,000 I rating or next. It'll follow the Knoxville Nationals point system. 2 qualify nights, Monday and Tuesday, followed by a pole scramble and hard knocks on Wednesday. And our first Alphabet Super Race is Thursday at 6:45. Leading up to the A main. $100 to win Knoxville Nationals plus a trophy, believe set for 47 laps. Don't want to miss out on it on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Final heat race underway and a tough start for Mike Weeda, and he just got yeeted by the 23 of William Watson. Glenn Sharp caught a piece of it. He's down to 6th and saying thank you all. Early Christmas gift for Dean Reynolds through to 4th. He watches in front of him, Bud Molyneux, William Watson go at it for the second spot, but it's Brandon Templeton who also got a chili strip triple dipper combo to take away the race lead. Already up from 4th to the top spot. Let's watch the race for the 5th spot on the track. Glenn Sharp, Jeff Barker battle for it. Barker advantage on quarter exit. Nice slider from Dino in the 79. Molyneux able to counter it back in the 883. On board with Reynolds as Molyneux cracks the wall for just a moment. William Watson, meanwhile, quickest car on track last time by at a 14:12 in his FTM machine. Forgot Will was also a FTM driver. Two laps to go, meanwhile, for Brandon Templeton, the 31. Ooh, trouble. Jeff Barker around in turn number 2. He'll go to the B main. Final lap underway in heat race number 3. Reynolds with some good breathing room on Glenn Sharp at 1 second over the 99. William Watson, another quick lap he laid down last time by at 14:10. Same with Templeton, 14:12. But it's B-Temp that takes the win in heat 3. Watson 2nd, Molyneux 3rd, Reynolds 4th. Sharp 5th, Watson 6th, Weeda 7th, and Jeff Barker in 8th. So we now head to our B main. Set for 10 laps here. We have taken 12 already. We'll figure out the back half of the field right now. 2 drivers will head home from this race early. Here's how they line up. As the Brew Crew starts on pole position, Mike Brewer in the 39. To his outside, it's Harold Klump in car number 2. Row 2, Glenn Sharp in the 99. To his outside, 100 grand, Joseph Granny in the 518. The third row, John Tobias in the 21. To his outside, it's Doc Mike Watson in the 006. Row 4, the Lowline Master, Brennan Lacey in the 114. And Mason Hine next to him in the 89. Rounded out the top 10, Mike Weeda in the 66 and Bob DeGood in car 7. The 6th row, the Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 011. Next to him, it's the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. In the final row this evening, Brian Moore Sr. in the 55 running out the field, but in front of him, it's the Moose, Joe Musso in the 28. Well, if you're watching live at the Coast to Coast Racing Network or on Slide Job Racing Network, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. The Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, is watching as always, rooting for the FTM team. Right on board with Harold Klump here as he as The front row continues the pace. Top 12 in, focus on 12th place driver after the completion of lap number 1. A 10-lap B main set to go down. Brewer fires were underway. No yaw in turn 2 for Klump as he pops a tire. And in the wall goes Joseph Grady. Big crash. Brian Moore, Bob DeGood, Joseph Grady hanging on to it. Klump now trying to limp this car to the finish, but Bob DeGood stuck off the pace. And car number 7, he's pulled it into the infield. DeGood is not going to race in this feature. Final spot in currently belongs to Brian Moore Sr. with a pretty good gap of 4.6 seconds. But I don't know where Joseph Grady won. Either that or may have had an internet issue. I think Grady bopped out or something. But right now, scoring has Harold Klump out front by 5 seconds. Well, out in front for this one. Checking to see maybe if Grady disconnected or DNF'd from this, but meanwhile, out in front though, it is the Brew Crew, Mike Brewer in that number 39 leading by Glenn Sharp by a quarter of a second. Big race for the third spot meanwhile. Mason Hine next to Randall Dixon. Dixon able to clear Hine here into turn 3 as the 89 looks for the bite here off the corner. Brewer quickest car on the racetrack at the moment at a 14:26. Lacey trying to grab bite. Now it's Dixon quickest on track. White flag waves. Final lap. 14:26 for him. Last time by. Here's Mike Brewer making his way through 3 and 4. It's the Brew Crew that'll take the checkered flag here and win the B main. Sharp in second. Dixon third. Lacey fourth. Hine fifth. Tobias sixth. Weeda in seventh. Barker eighth. Musso ninth. And Watson in 10th. Step aside here, take a break. When we come back, feature action on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups continuing here at the Cedar Lake Speedway as we gather the times here for you. Brendan Lacey currently quickest into 14:2:04. Billy Roberts second, 14:25. Sam Bachman third, 14:28. Same with Mike Brewer, William Watson. That's the rest of the top five. Set to go for feature time here this evening at Cedar Lake Speedway. 30 laps. Let's meet the field and give you your starting lineup. On the pole, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in car number 75 to his outside, the Sam Aconda, Sam Bachman in the 007. Row 2, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Next to him, it's Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in the 4. Row 3, Michael Vitale, the Jokester in the 213. To his outside, it's William Watson in the 23. Row 4, Kelly Wheeler in the 11. To his outside, Randy Shreves in the 56. Rounded out the top 10, Bud Molyneux with the 883 and Logan Wentz in the 18. Row 6, it's Billy Roberts in the 19 and Dean Reynolds, Dino in the 79. Row 7, the Brew Crew, Mike Brewer in the 39. To his outside, it is Glenn Sharp in the 99. Row 8, the Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 11, and Brennan Lacey in the 114. Row 9, Mason Hine in the 89, and John Tobias in the 21. In row 10, Mike Weed in the 66, and the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Final two rows, Joe Musso in the 28, Mike Watson in the 006, Brian Moore Sr. in the 55, and Harold Klump in car number 2. Time for picks to win. Who you got this evening? I'm going to go with the man that starts in second. Give me Sam Bachman in the 007. Steve King Foundation pace car set to go onto pit road. First time tonight. It's time to shake and bake. Giroux and Bachman bring us the green. It's time to get it on. Pair of drivers didn't take the green. William Watson, John Tobias near contact for the lead as Giroux leads lap number 1. Templeton and Bachman go side by side, off for 2. Templeton with the bike, contact puts Bachman up on the wall. Rio Vitale scatter, and Bachman turns Templeton, and a big stack up. The championship points leader is involved under the first caution. Wow. A wild start to this one as B-Temp gets taken out in this first yellow flag. Let's rewind that once again. So he puts Bachman up in the wall. You be the judge. And am I looking at this correctly, or no? Bachman and Templeton, they were involved in that wreck. Are they gonna keep their spots, or are we gonna have an iRacing glitch here? Who is the pace car on? Oh not a glitch here to start this one. The pace car has caught the 28. And the lights are going to come back that way. The back of the pack can merge in with the race leaders. They're going to stop here so they can catch Scott Rayome in the 4. And then we'll figure everything back out here. William Watson, I believe he was involved in that accident, so he'll start for the back. Brian Dickens checking in, rooting for B-Temp. Thanks for joining us tonight, my friend. And so it sounds like they'll get things all set up here with Trevor Giroux, the race leader. We should have the lights turned off this time. All right, looks like all is good with this lineup. So come back to green, FTM row 1 with Vitali, Wentz, and Wheeler rounding out the top 5. We're back to green. Trevor Giroux able to hold serve. Scott Riom underneath for that top spot, but Giroux has him cleared. Vitali through to third over the 118 of Logan Wentz. Both grooves coming in handy here early at Cedar Lake Speedway. We're back under caution. This time it's John Tobias around in the 21 car. Look at what happened to the City Collision Shop Tobias Brothers ride. Oh, that's clearly netcode. Clearly netcode there. You can tell when someone gets netcoded or not. That is netcode all day long. Right on board for the back of Tobias. This is up front, but watch the back. Most definitely netcode. Right on board here with Templeton. Watch this. Never even touched him one bit. All right, try this restart here once again. Back to green. Watch the aerial shot here through 1 and 2. Vitali, the first guy on the bottom. 3 wide the middle. Oh, big contact there. Brewer out of the groove, and Molyneux takes a lick, and we're going to stack him up again.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh, brother. You don't want to see this here at Cedar Lake. Bachman caught up. Same with Molyneux. And so we'll go single file here for the rest of this race. I am sure of that. Harold Klump also involved. We stacked up a bunch of them. We'll look at what happened. Watch Brewer in the 39. 4 wide there for just a moment. Molyneux makes contact with Roberts. Hard hit for the 883, but it happens right underneath. 66 Awita also involved. Just a cluster, you know what. Right on board with Molyneux. That's a very hard hit, too, for Molyneux in that spot. On board with Harold Klump.
Green flag, green flag.
Back to the green flag. Again, like I said, single file for the rest of this race. This should get some action in. Drew able to hold serve. 3 wide nearly once again as Reynolds and Wentz tried to split Vitali for the bottom step of the podium. Up the hill goes the 213. Reynolds edging out Wentz for 4th spot at the start-finish line. Vitali trying to use the slider line to make sure he keeps the lead, but now Reynolds at a track that's very good with the bite. Downstairs for the 4th spot, making the 3rd position now on Vitali. Meanwhile, further back, Vitali was able to keep it straight so he didn't lose any spots. Hangs on to 7th for right now. Brendan Lacey started 16th. He's up on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. And he's trying to get the 2-for-1 discount. But Vitale keeps getting in his way. This allows Brewer to peek downstairs. Wentz and a bunch of them. Big gaggle here. Vitale the bumper to Wentz and around he goes. Watson also caught up in this. Oh, brother. That wasn't the cause for yell. Watch Logan Wentz gets a bumper there from Vitale. 2 bumps. That was like Morse code. What's the block? Third. It's like first bump, I'm here. Second bump, time to move. Third bump, I'm moving you. That's what that basically was. There's that first bump. There's that second bump. Slams the door there, and the jokester played a trick on him. That's more than a trick. That's a prank. I'm interested in where Mr. Wentz is going here. I think he's just getting his lap back so he can get tail end. We've seen moments before where drivers have not been happy. I got a feeling this is going to be one of those nights here in this class. A third of the way through, Giroux brings us back to green. Dean Reynolds trying to get second from his FTM teammates. So it's FTM 1, 2, 3. Look at this. We're going to go 4 wide off for 4. We nearly did. Lacey, Vitale, Brewer, and Roberts all using different lanes. And now Lacey hanging up there. Up on that third groove here. Trying to find some sort of cushion off for turn 4. Dino shuts the door right in his face. Lacey trying to get a huge run. Oh boy, contact on the road goes Lacey. Up in the air goes Kelly Wheeler. Everyone's got to avoid it. And Brian Moore Jr. is caught up. Somebody's lost a wheel as well. That was Moore. Good grief. We were riding on board with Lacey as it happened. A good run where he could have gotten hard charger. Let's see what happened. Just tried to go all the way to the outside. But that lane was closed, just about closed off. He just could not fit up there. On board with Brian Moore Sr. Nowhere to go, one bet. Let's go on board with Dino. Gave him the lane. Lacey just couldn't fit, caught the wall. Oh yeah, and we're not even at the halfway point yet in this race. We're about to complete lap number 13 as Trevor Giroux is set to bring us to green. Still FTM 1, 2, 3. Vitale remains in the 4th position. Mike Brewer rounds out the top 5. The Brew crew trying to look low, making it an FTM, a 1, 2, 3, 4 race at the moment, but the jokester goes up. Rayom trying to use Brendan Lacey's line, and I guess you could say the same thing for Trevor Giroux up there in 1 and 2, but look at how this track is just about slickened off in the corners. Cedar Lake well known for doing that. Trouble in the back, Brian Moore Sr. around the 55, but nobody's about to pass him, so we stay under the green flag. Randall Dixon tries to attack Kelly Wheeler. That's the race for 7th. Here we go for second. Dino trying to grab the bite. Michael Vitale trying to follow the 79 in the bottom. Dino, your hard charger for right now. He's up 9 spots in third. Trying to go up double digits, but now it's 3 wide for the lead for just a moment. Reynolds edged out Rayom there at the line for second. Oh, contact between Rayom and Vitale. The jokester hangs on. Mike Brewer still trying to grab that 4th spot from Vitale. Rayom again up there on that banking. That's a line I like. And I raised, but that was before the dirt tire refresh. Race for 8th. Brandon Templeton trying to rebound after the first accident that he was involved in. He's currently up at 9th, trying to grab the 8th spot from Randall Dixon. The Bandit gives him the lane. B-Temp caught the wall there for just a moment. And Templeton is riding through the danger zone. They're up next to that wall. You'll see a bunch of drivers try that line out next week in Knoxville, but the big risk you take up there is on the high side. When this track gets looking out, it's like motocross bumps. We go to Knoxville next week. Wheeler trying to guard 7th from Randall Dixon and Brandon Templeton with 7 laps to go. Dixon trying to show his nose underneath Wheeler. Templeton gets side by side though. Templeton looks good on corner entry though. We'll give him credit because nobody's up there up top. He doesn't have to lift. He can keep his foot in the throttle and it just paid off. B-Temp up to 7th. Now we'll see if anyone maybe takes notes of that as well ahead. Brewer still in 5th with company from Billy Roberts. Give credit to him on a fantastic run. Started in the back of his heat. Avoided the big accident in heat race number 2 and got the 4th starting spot because of it. He started 11th in this feature. 4 laps to go meanwhile as Trevor Giroux works in lap traffic, the gap at a half second over Dean Reynolds. Which FTM car will take it to victory lane tonight? It's not over just yet for the Philly Flyer. Can Dino have a chance to steal it over Trevor Giroux? About to find out. Coming to the white flag, this time by. And the doctor's jacket's in the air for Trevor Giroux. And the Full Throttle Motorsports Swan Speed Shop Super Dirt Car Series number 75. He makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. Giroux comes to the checkered flag. He takes the win 1 of the season in open 358 action. Reynolds 2nd, your biggest mover, up 10 spots. Rayom in 3rd, Michael Vitale 4th, and a great comeback from Brandon Templeton to finish in 5th after being involved in the first accident. So he parks it on the podium. Great win for the Philly Flyer. We'll have to ask him if that Canadian maple syrup played a factor. If he grinded his tires with it. Margin of victory, 0.4 of a second over Dean Reynolds. As you got the top 20, we had 22 on the lead lap. A bunch of heartbreaks throughout this race, that's for sure. So get your FTM top 3 in here in just a moment. A reminder, our Rebels division coming up next here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'll bring the 3rd place finisher in. And let's talk to Scott Rayom in car number 4. Scotty, a wild first half, but once we got things rolling here, it became a fun race. Take me through it and what you were trying out there on the high side.
I was just trying not to get killed by everybody else. Like a lot of accidents there, but not one of my favorite places. I always seem to get destroyed at this place. So I'll definitely happy with a good points night, good third place finish, and I'll take it, man. This was coming in when I saw this was on the schedule this morning. I'm like, oh god, yeah. I was like, well, here's what it is. Hats off to Trevor and Dino there, and I got to say thank you to Michael Vitale. Him and I have a sketchy past, and he raced me pretty clean. I think he might have been a little quicker down there, but I mean, I knew that was where I had to be, and he raced me clean. So hats off to Mike too.
That's good to hear. We're gonna see you in Rebels in just a moment.
Oh, I suppose.
Awesome. Who do you want to give shout-outs to before we let you go?
Well, hang on. Let me pull. Screw it. I'll just wing it. All the guys over at Full Throttle, all the guys over at Full Throttle Motorsports, Dean Super Dirt Car, Gunner Swan Speed Shop. Obviously, this is the place to go. I mean, top three right here. They're all good Swan Speed Shop setups. DJ at DJ Sim Shop. This is one of his cars. FTM just picked up title sponsor too with Vertex Graphics. Give a shout out to Tyler Bowman for coming on board with us. You'll see some of his cars coming out pretty soon as well. You, Marty, for doing the broadcast. Hope to see you this weekend at Canandaigua for the Sportsman Show. All the guys over at Coast to Coast. Let's see. I got to thank Megan, Dean's girlfriend Megan, for being my number one fan. Tony Morano out there didn't pick me to win anything, so he can go shit in his hat. Let's go with Tony's wife Sherry. She's always in my DM saying hi and shit like that. So
This guy, yeah.
That's enough, Marty.
That's too much winging. I think he had too many wings there. Nice job tonight, and I'll miss you. I'll be at Thunder Mountain this week, but I'll be watching that and I'll be watching that, and more importantly, Hickson's Hall of Fame induction.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try to get over there and watch that. It's been pretty busy with the new car and all, and I mean, man, our car's been pretty fast on Saturday nights there.
All right.
Since we got a new car 3 weeks ago, it's been pretty quick. So.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. So, all right, Scotty, we'll let you go. Good luck in Rebels.
All right, bud.
So Scott Rayone finishes in the third spot. Boy, where do we go from there with that interview? That was some sort of interview there. Let's see if Dino can match it. Did you just hear what just happened?
No, I don't have a computer on or anything. I got into the session late. I ran my time trial without headphones on.
Oh boy!
Because I was still on a conference call with Super Dirt Week and stuff like that. So that's why I did terrible. And to where at the finish second, I had no idea I was going to finish second. This is to come from starting seventh in the heat to get lucky with getting through that accident and then getting lucky to get through some of the accidents in the feature and then hanging on. I mean, this is like a win for me.
Take me through where your car was good at. Obviously, the big key in the first half was trying to avoid the mayhem, but that second half, your car came alive.
Yeah, when that first accident happened, I started on the outside, and I got into Shreves because Shreves had to check up big time, and I hit the brakes as hard as I could. My right front plowed right into Randy, and my right front was gone. I went into the next restart going into turn one, and I pushed like a pro late model right up to the wall. And then I went into turn 3 and 4, and I went right up to the wall, and I said, well, I can't do the outside. So I just started doing the middle, and all of a sudden the middle started working, and I was getting a good run coming out of 2. There was a little patch of brown in the middle coming out of 2, and I made sure I hit my right rear to hit that, and that's how I made up a couple spots. That's how I got Scotty, and then, I got up to Trevor, but I had no idea what I was going to do to get around him. I was just hoping maybe lap traffic get in the way, but he earned it, got the win, and I got a lucky second.
Who do I give shout-outs to before we let you go?
Well, I got to say shout-out to Scotty Rayone because I'm sure he gave me a shout-out. But, all the FTM guys, we had a couple guys had some tough luck. But that's part of the deal. When you have a good field and a big field and you got the tight confines of Cedar Lake, it's going to happen. So I got to thank those guys for keeping this old guy fast, or fast enough, I should say. And Marty, got to thank you for doing the broadcast, and also thank my brethren, Full Throttle Motorsports, for sponsoring the Open Set 358, so you can do it. Got to thank Gunnar Swanchair from Swan Speed Shop for doing, as Sam says, doing the dig. Again, baseline setup, Marty. Baseline setup's all I put in, and just changed some gearing and then went racing. So, if you use code C2C, 20% off any Swan Speed Shop sets. And as I said before, he loves doing 358 stuff. So if you want to really get hooked up in 358 stuff, I think Swanee's the only guy you should go to. So I gotta thank them. Gotta thank Super Dirt Car Series, Dirt Vision, World of Outlaws, my employer and such. So I can afford to actually have a good wheel and do this stuff. And gotta say, I'm gonna say hi to Megan and my dad, but I didn't have enough time to send them the link yet. So I'm gonna send them the broadcast replay so they can go watch. And I'll say, hey, you might want to watch this. And then let's all get ready for Knoxville next week. Knoxville Nationals. We're up to 27 entries. $100 to win. Everybody in the A main's going to get some money. Let's get a 50, 60 car field for that. All for a great cause. Steve King Foundation, as you know, Marty. Looks like we're going to have you, Shaggy, and Robert in the booth again, and that's going to be great. But everyone gets signed up for the Knoxville Nationals. You can run Monday, Tuesday. If you can't even make Monday or Tuesday, you can run Hard Knocks on Wednesday. If you can't even make all three, you can still start in the back of the D main or whatever on Thursday and give it a shot. But if you don't make it, your money went to a good cause.
We're going to have a ball next week, Dino. Appreciate the time. Great job. Hopefully we're talking to you again in Renegades.
Well, if I talk to you in Renegades, man, I might curse on this telecast. I'll be happy as hell.
We've already had that happen tonight. I'll just fair warn you that.
Shit, not Scotty.
Great job, Dean.
Fair enough. Thanks, buddy.
Oh boy, yeah, man, these are some interviews. Our guys are coming alive tonight. I don't know what the heck it is, but Trevor Giroux in the 75 takes the win. Was the Canadian maple syrup the advantage? Granted that on the tires.
Come on, Marty, you know it was.
Man, clean air had to have been your best friend based off of everything that happened throughout the night.
Yeah, I think it was for sure. I mean, you looked at second, third, fourth, even fifth, maybe even sixth. It was guys were battling, and just being up front, having that clean air, not having anyone to worry about, was definitely huge. I was kind of trying to figure out where the track was gonna go, and then Dean went to the bottom middle there, and I eventually knew the track was gonna go to the middle. It usually does in these things, and that's when I knew it was my time. And after that, it was just check the relative and make sure we're even, or I'm pulling away. And it was we were pretty even, so I stayed there. And top was definitely getting a little thin, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Marty, it was clean air was definitely huge. Not having anyone to battle with, throw sliders, anything that slows you down. So yeah.
Where did your car feel good throughout the night?
Honestly, the top, I was running top 1 and 2, and then started throwing the sliders there in 3 and 4 just to see how it felt, and it was quick, and but top was where this car felt good, and that's where I'm more comfortable as a driver. Just the top, like tracks like Eldora and Charlotte, and even here, man, it's I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm decently good at running the wall and entering high and keeping the car in the grip up there, but eventually it just gets so thin where it's not really that fast anymore, and that's kind of what we saw here tonight. And Dean kind of showed everyone the line, and everyone followed. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Cedar Lake over the years is kind of it's getting good. Like it's pretty racy. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the replay of the broadcast and see what the racing was like, but for me, with the amount of cautions, I think it was pretty racy tonight.
Who do you want to give shout outs to before we let you go?
Just gotta give a shout out, the usual, of course, the boys at FTM, man. It's 1, 2, 3 here, Dean, Scott. Huge shout out to those boys. FTM 1, 2, 3. It's huge. We love that stuff. So shout out everyone at FTM. Anthony in the chat. I see you in there, Tony. Shout out Sherry, Tony's wife, for being in mine and Scott's DMs every night. So you know how it goes. Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, running a Sam Maconda set tonight. Thank you, Sam. This set hasn't let me down. I don't think it ever will. So Yeah, everyone that makes this stuff possible, everyone at C2C, Vertex Graphics for the wrap tonight. You, Marty, for the broadcast. Looking forward to Wednesday. I'm gonna try and make a Wednesday. I keep forgetting we run Wednesdays now. So yeah.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Great job tonight. Congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week during Knoxville.
Thank you, Marty.
Alrighty, Trevor Giroux takes the win here. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, Rebels take shape on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in an on-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we prepare for Rebels here this evening. Racetracks and sunsets here at Cedar Lake. CC Dean Reynolds. Should have CC'd in him when we were doing the interview earlier on tonight. So, but anyway, game's set to go. We've got a great car count tonight of Rebels with us here this evening as Ted York. Waiting to make sure we're back. All right, I think we're good. So apologies for that. Again, bear with us. We'll be doing this on and off here throughout the night. All right, qualifying here for our Rebels division. First driver on track. We'll watch the driver of the 009. This is Ted York. York of the 009. Again, 2 laps here. 2 minutes of qualifying to put together a fast lap. York ripping the cushion here through the corners. He'll set the bar here on lap number 1. At 11:98. 1:1983 for Ted York. Jeff Kemper looking pretty quick as well. Quick time, 11:966, 1:1966 for Jeff Kemper. But same goes for Mason Hine as he goes third quick though, after being purple sector 2 at a 12:014, 1:2014 for Mason Hine. John Klimowitz Jr. purple in sector 2. Quick time he goes at an 11:925, 1:1925 for John Klimowitz Jr. and the Bandits. Number 034. Gary Offit up to 6th, 12:031. Stacy Elmore 7th quick, 12:081, 1:2081 for Stacy Elmore. In the green in sector 2, 12:08. Isaac Bowman back with us in car number 9 this evening. 12:14 is his best time, so he is 10th quick. And so that'll do it for qualifying. And in his debut tonight, John Klimowitz Jr., the quickest in qualifying, and 11:93. Great lap time for him. So with that, we are just about ready to go for our first of 2 heat races this evening, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. And here is how they are set to line up as Stacy Elmore starts on pole in car number 21. To his outside, it's Mike Watson, Doc in the 006. Row number 2, Ted York, he's in the 009. To his outside, it's John Klimmerwitz Jr. in the 034. The third row, Steve Maurer in the 888. To his outside, it's Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in the 4. Final row this evening, Chris Schaefer, he's in the number 19. And Putt-Putt Clay Christopherson in the 51. Looks like we got everyone gridded up here and we're ready to go here for our first heat race of the evening. Again, if you're just joining us, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Thanks for joining us here this evening for another edition of Monday Night Madness on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Winner starts on pole. Everyone in the show tonight. Green flag waves. Here we go. Steve Maurer already through the tires. Hang on there in the back of the pack. He puts Chris Schaefer in the wall. As Stacy Elmore leads lap number 1. Good battle for second. Teddy York, Mike Watson. They slightly touch. York able to hang on with no issues. Clay Christopherson rounds out the top 4 for right now at the moment. Scott Rayome peeked his nose underneath. Battle for the race lead, though, as York is caught up to Elmore. And that Inferno Motorsports number 21. Great corner exit from Elmore there in that ride. Side by side here for the spot between teammates. Putt-Putt and Slide Job Scotty. That's Christopherson that edges out for 4th here. Trying to rip the cushion. That was the place to be during the feature with a full head of steam. Ooh, sideways Scott Rayome. That cost him another spot. This time to John Klimmerwitz Jr., the quick timer. Has lost a spot, surprisingly. So nothing really working out for the driver of the 034. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Putt-Putt is all over the 09 of Ted York for position number 2. White flag waves. Final lap in heat 1 for Stacy Elmore as he looks to put the Inferno Motorsports number 21 on the pole position this evening. Stacy's first start of the season comes to the checkered flags and wins heat 1. York 2nd, Christopherson 3rd, Watson 4th, Klimmerwitz 5th, Rayome 6th, Schaefer 7th, and Maurer 8th. Final heat race of the night here for the Rebels, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Pat Boyce starts on pole. He's in car number 41. To his outside, it's Gary Offutt in the 94. Row number 2, Mason Hine in car 89. Next to him, it's Jeff Kemper in the 181. Row 3, Isaac Bowman racing the 9 car, and he was outside the Moose, Joe Musso in the 28. Final car of the grid this evening, Kale Bixler. He's in the 789. Winner starts outside the front row this evening. We're green. Little contact between Kemper and Offers, the 181, trying to get past for that third spot. Bowman right in the bottom here, trying to get past the 94, but man, I tell you what a stack up here from third on back. Offer wants the corner exit. He's passed on Kale Bixler for the fifth spot rather. Meanwhile, for the race lead, here comes Mason Hine, who started third thanks to the invert. It's their side by side. Boyce edges out Hine by just an inch. High with the bite off turn 2. Hang on there, Pat Boyce really sideways. Off for turn 2. Way too much throttle there through the corner. Didn't spin, but he's still stuck in the second spot. We watched the 3-car race for third as the Sergeant tried to pull away. Ooh, man, up to the air was the right rear of Jeff Kemper after contact from Isaac Bowman. Kemper hangs on, the Young Gun Creations Gambler Motorsports entry. And sideways is Isaac Bowman. I think he caught the Tory tires. They're in 1 and 2. Kale and Kemper still side by side. Pat Boyce, he may have run out of fuel there. He'll start in the back of the pack. A lap and a half short. Was the 41 from a very good starting spot from 4th this evening. Instead, he'll start from 16th. This is the race for the 4th spot in the feature tonight. Kale Bixler sideways off for turn 4. He has it. Mason Hine, though, wins heat 2. Kemper 3rd, Musso 4th, off for 5th. Bowman 6th, and Pat Boyce in 7th. We'll step aside here, take a break for warm-ups. When we come back, featured time of the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups wrapping up here at Cedar Lake Speedway with Mason Hines, the quickest in warm-ups, 15 seconds left in it. Hine currently with a 12:22. Followed by John Klimowitz Jr., 12:44. Jeff Kemper, third, 12:45. Ted York in fourth, 12:47. And Joe Musso, fifth, at a 12:48. I believe all is good. This normally lags between sessions, so bear with us on that. So, ready to go for feature time? Let's meet the field and give you your starting lineup. Rebels are brought to you by the Salty Dogs race team. On the pole, Stacy Elmore in the number 21. Next to him, it's Mason Hine in the 89. Row 2, Ted York in the 009. To his outside, it's Cale Bixler in the 789. Row number 3, it's Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson in the 51. Next to Jeff Kemper in the 181. Row 4, it's Doc, Mike Watson in the 006. Next to him, it's the Moose, Joe Musso in the 28. Running out your top 10 this evening is John Klimowitz in the 034 and Gary Offut in the 94. Row number 6, Scott Rayholm, Slide Job Scotty in the 4, and Isaac Bowman in car 9. Row 7, Chris Schaefer in the 19, next to Pat Boyce in the 41. Final car on the grid this evening, Steve Maurer in the 888. Lights are off here. One lap until we take the green flag this evening. My pick to win? That's a very good question. There's a lot of fast cars out here, but I'm going to go with the man that's starting 5th tonight. Give me Putt Putt in that number 51. Steve King Foundation pace car speeds up. Second time tonight that it is time to shake and bake. Stacy Elmer, Mason Hine bring us the green. It's time to get it on. Oh, in the wall, Cale Bixler really hard on 2. Wheels up in the air goes Jeff Kemper and upside down. And we do not make it past lap number 1 again. The first caution flies. Wild ride for that number 181. There's a look at what happened. Watch Bixler, that's 789. Catches the wall twice. I don't know if he made contact with Elmore or not. Let's ride on board. Now I think he just got on the brakes to avoid hitting him. And then clips Kemper. Come back to green with 4 laps complete. It's still Elmore and Hine, the front row, back to green. Everyone moves up here with everyone stays in the same spot with the exception of Kemper, and driver involved is actually still going. It's Cale Bixler because he kept it straight in the 4th spot. 3 wide here, meanwhile, for 3rd. Bixler gets away through with no issues, followed by York and Putt Putt. Mason Hine looking for the race lead. Oh, he clipped a Uke tire off for 4. The left front's destroyed, and he stacks up the entire high side. A bunch of them in the wall, including Mason Hine. Around goes the 34 of Klimowitz. No caution. Somehow we stay green. If they can get them back rolling. Nobody went to pit road. Beware Stacy Elmore. You got a bunch of them that are off the pace. And see, this is the risk you pay And I believe, oh, Christopherson got clipped. And I believe because they were just so dangerous, so slow, I believe that officials threw the caution flag. They did. Just way too dangerous out there for sure. Watch Mason in the 89 as he clips this tire. Big time. Man, look the air he got off of that. A lot of drivers losing the steering off of that. I don't know how that wasn't a yellow flag, really. On board with the Sarge, Cale Bixler. John Klimowitz Jr. So he's got a quick repair. He'll come back to green here in just a moment. Here we come back to the green flag. 5 laps complete. Gonna watch for the aerial shot here on this restart. Side by side, Christopherson from 5th to the race lead. New race leader, the 51. Wheel touch there. Hang on, Chris Schaefer. As he's forced to catch it in that number 19. More contact there, that time with Kemper in the 181. 3 wide, Musso stuck in the middle. Rayom tries to go around the outside of Watson in the race here for the 4th spot. Chris Schaefer again stuck in the middle. Not a lot of room for error. And Rayom and Musso touched that time in the battle for 5th. Both grooves coming in handy here at Cedar Lake Speedway without question. From the rear end of Ted York. Look at this racing on the straightaway. They're just all double wide, and haven't mentioned this yet with Scott Rayom started 11th, running 4th. And remember the top 5 as well. Transfer in pending IL, and for right now belongs to Doc Watson, but company from a Moose. Gotta fear him, that's for sure, in Joe Musso. And a stack up on the outside. Kemper up the wall for just a moment. 3 wide still with Schaefer in the middle. On board the number 19. The 89 of Hine was forced to lift there. Remember, he's a lap car, so will not play a factor in this race unless he gets on the lead lap, which is very rare to do. Scott Rayom. Joe Musso, bottom for the 4th spot. Musso up on the wall, though, rides it through 3 and 4. The right front looks to be damaged. And it's very off pace. Yeah, it's damaged. It's shaking there when I went past the start-finish line. It's not a good sight. It could break at any moment. Contact there off of Steve Mowers. Musso is dropped from 5th to 11th, just like that. And a battle for the 2 spot. Ted York through has taken it away. So check that Elmore was trying to take it away. He got really sideways off for 2. Got on the throttle a little bit too much. York catches the wall meanwhile. Jeff Kemper now moves into the top 5 with that. Oh, hang on, Musso! And that'll end his night. Got caught up on 2 wheels and does the classy move. Decides not to turn left, keep her straight, put her on pit road. But right now it's Puppa with 9 laps to go, dominating this. 3.8 seconds the gap on Ted York. Nearly half a track right now separates the top 2, quarter of a track, I guess you could say. Maurer off foot, they battle for 10th. We're watching Rayom and Kemper, the race for P4. Ooh, Rayom really sideways, and he may have destroyed the right front. Kemper takes away 4th. And the car still looks good on the 4th, surprisingly, even with that hit of that hard of an impact. And now the salty dog, Pat Boyce, looks to catch, but as I say that, he takes a shortcut through the Uke tires. And this could allow Chris Shaver to close in. Caution flag waves. And it's for Steve Maurer in the A88 as he's brought it on to pit road. Doesn't realize the right front's gone once again. As he tries to turn it hard in the wall, and that's more than a Tory tire right there. That is a extra sized donut. Bunch of hits that Steve Maurer took there. One could be the final restart of the night. We're single file rest of the way through with 5 laps to go. Christofferson hangs on to the race lead. Kemper tries to grab 3rd. He's got it from Stacy Elmore. Best restart belongs to the 181 right now. Elmore, though, tries to fight back and play defense. Oh, contact with Elmore. Up the wall goes the 87. Or the 07, rather. They're all contacting. Being and bang, and Elmore's lost the front wing. He's forced down to 8. Pat Boyce up on the wall. He's stuck in 7th. Chris Schaefer, meanwhile, up in the air goes the 34. They're hooked. And they catch that up Bowman, who flips and flies. No caution yet. And there it is. Hang on, Clay. Yeah, no, oh my gosh. Hold on to the brakes, guys. Oh my goodness. A 2-lap shootout to determine this one. They were all just magnets out there. They just couldn't get off of each other. Just a lot of hooking and hanging. And the worst of it belongs to Isaac Bowman, in car number 9. Right on board. Watch this ride. Ouch. Here's Chris Schaefer. Look at that 34. Nice face full of 360 engine. So this will be our first of 2 attempts at overtime. If we get a yellow before the white, we'll try one more time. If we get a white, we're going to the checkers.
Green flag, green flag.
Putt brings us back to green, looking for the win. York, Rayom, Kemper, Boyce, that's the top 5. Trying to make it to Renegades this evening. Clay gets a freebie lap here, restarting as the leader, as we like to say. Boyce looks for 4th here on Jeff Kemper. White flag flies. This is the final lap. Ted York trying to catch Clay Christopherson, but it's the FTM Super Dirt Car Series Expert Insulation number 51 off for 4. Checkered flag, Clay Christopherson wins. York second, Rayom third, Kemper fourth, and Pat Boys fifth. They're in the show pending IL. So another FTM victory this evening as Christopherson wins by just over a half sec. So the fireworks pop up just over the lake, and we will grab your top 2 in just a moment. Pretty fireworks. Cedar Lake always puts on a good fireworks show during 4th of July weekend. So, all right, we got them all in here. Let's go to third place, Scott Rayom. 2/3, not bad, but how about that charge throughout the field? Take me through it.
Well, I got lucky. I mean, I don't know really what I'm doing in these things, and I was just babying the throttle around there. People were wrecking in front of me. I was, got Dino and all the other guys from FTM over there just telling me where to go, like to avoid the wrecks. And I thank those guys really for more than me. I was just holding on to the steering wheel, had my eyes closed about 6 or 7 times in that. So I'll take it. I'm not good in these at all. So I'm not going to swear this time, Marty. I promise.
Well, you're on the Renegade show tonight, at least. Pending IL, I'm not too sure what it's at for you, but
it's probably pretty high. So
I mean, if it's good for you, you'll be in, that's for sure. So, but regardless, who do you want to give shout-outs to before we let you go?
All the guys over at FTM, Dino at Super Dirt Car, DJ Sim Shops, Vertex Graphics, Clay, what hell of a run for the... Oh, I did it. I'm sorry. Heck of a run there for Clay. And, of course, I got to thank Tony Morano for being at work. And, of course, I got to thank his wife, right? I can't not thank his wife this time. So... But we'll just leave it at that.
I'm sure Anthony will love you for that, though. So
I'm sure he will.
Great job tonight. Great runs.
Thanks, buddy.
So Scott Rayom, our third place finisher. To second, we go to Ted York of the 009. Ted, take me through your run, and what more did you need for Clay there in the end?
I just kind of hung on the whole race, trying to figure the top out. I don't know what I needed for Clay. I needed to get better at running the top.
Are you normally a bottom feeder type guy?
Yeah, and I'm not very good at Cedar Lake, so I'm very happy with a second.
Gotcha. But you got a good run. You're in Renegades pending IL. Who do you want to give shout-outs to before we let you go?
Well, first, all you guys for putting it on. Salty Dogs, I believe, as well. And School of Sim Racing. And that's about it.
All righty. We'll let you go. Great job tonight, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Have a great...
Ted York finishing the second spot. To victory lane we go. And talk with your winner, Clay Christopherson. Putt-putt, a nice charge from fifth to first. Take me through it.
Ran the bottom for the first little bit. I noticed nobody was down there. And I was like, well, instead of getting a dogfight right away, I'm just going to try weaseling my way through, which worked. Got in the second, and then once I showed that door there that I was there on the top, I was able to kind of check out and run a consistent time after that, and car felt on rails.
Had some close calls in late in the race with those caution flags. What were you thinking inside the car?
Good thing I wore my brown pants.
Camouflage. There you go.
Yeah. No, it was a little sketchy on a couple of them that I had to quick chop down, not knowing if the guy behind me was in the middle or whatnot. So it was a couple sketchy close calls, but we made it work.
What do you expect for Renegades tonight?
I'm gonna probably stake them back till the feature time. I'm not running for points with these guys. I don't want to interrupt anything. So if I run smooth, I'm gonna try sticking it to the bottom. The bottom felt consistent in the last race as well. It was kind of hard to hit, but I feel like I have a little more patience in this race, knowing these guys are gonna be racing hard up top.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
You guys for putting this on. All the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block sets.
Alrighty. We'll let you go. Congratulations. I believe your first Rebels win of the year, and you did it in grand style. Great job.
Thank you, sir.
Putt, Clay Christopherson, your race winner. We'll go to break, and when we come back, it's the Renegades on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. we can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we prepare for Renegades. Here, this should be a really good show here with our Renegades division as 22 of them with us here tonight. Renegades brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Marty Sakala with you on the call. And if you like what you see here with our sprint cars tonight, you better tune in next week, or in fact, race with us next week for the 4-night Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. All proceeds benefiting the Steve King Foundation. Join us Monday through Thursday. Believe we should be good now. Yeah, join us Monday through Thursday on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. You're not going to want to miss out on it, that's for sure. Just wrapping up the practice sessions here before we go. And if you're joining us, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat this evening. We got Mike checking in, rooting for Randy Shreves. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Great group of drivers with us, so everyone will transfer into tonight's show. And we are ready to go for qualifying. 2 minutes on the clock for 2 laps. First driver on the track, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer, and car number 83. And all right, believe we're actually having some... Nope, we're good. We're having some technical difficulties for a moment with our timing on the clock. Bob DeGood currently quickest at a 12:19. Jesse Bandy, though, second. Patrick Spangler quick time now at a 12:149. Look how close these times are. How about Jesse Bandy? 12:147 by 0.02 of a second. Look at how far close the top 3 are separated by. Wait till we see Blake Chapman come make his way onto the racetrack. He's coming off for turn 4 right now. Where's the salesman clock in? Third quick. 12:149, tied for second. How about Ross Corretto? Where's he shape up here? Quick time. 12:010. Oh, baby, Blake Chapman quicker. What the heck is this session? Oh, my goodness. This is one of the best qualifying sessions we've had in a long time. Chapman quickest by 4,000. Spandy beat 2 other drivers by 0.03 of a second. Here comes Randy Shreves on lap number 1. I swear, if he's in the top 7, I may go nuts. Neither lap will count. He's on the wall on lap number 2. Shreves will start from the back here. So ready for heat race number 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. First to 3 heats. Look at your starting lineup here for this one. On the pole, Rick Main in the number 187, who is outside the driver, the 181. That is Jeff Kemper. So Main and Kemper on row number 1. Then in row 2, you've got the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, to his outside. It's the salesman, Blake Chapman, in car number 20. Final row here, it's going to be row number 3, the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to him, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. Final car on the grid, it's Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in the 4. Again, next week, the 4-night Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals. Monday through Thursday on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. All proceeds going towards the Steve King Foundation. Monday and Tuesday is qualifying. Wednesday, our pole scramble and hard knocks, followed by Alphabet Soup Thursday night, culminating with the 47-lap A-Main. Winner takes $100 plus a trophy. A lot more prizes up for grabs. Dean Reynolds has been helping set this all up. More info, go to c2crl.com and click on Knoxville Nationals at the top of the screen. Everyone makes the show here tonight. Top winner, though, on the pole position is Main and Kemper brings us to green. Heat 1 underway. Good start for Rick Main as he makes his way through 3 and 4. Spangler in the 2nd spot. Side by side for 3rd. It's Kemper over Blake Chapman. Lap 1 led by Main. Great exit for the high side banger as he starts to challenge on the 187 for the race lead. Wing to wing off for 4, Main edges Spangler. Chapman now through to 3rd. He's got Jeff Kemper clear, but it's the high side banger on the Spangler line. Off the corner, new leader, the 39 of Patrick Spangler. Really got in too deep entering turn number 1. Just about wheelied it there for a moment. Main, then Chapman, then Jeff Kemper, the 4 cars right now. If it were an over 24 car field, would transfer in at the moment. Main about to deal into the clutches of Blake Chapman for the 2 spot. 3 to go in Heat 1. Two laps to go for Spangler, leading by 0.4 of a second. Best battle on track. Terry Landis, Jeff Barker for the 5th spot. The Bird to Beast around the outside of Terry Landis. Can he grab 5th off the corner here? And the answer is yes with 1 lap to go, but they'll be side by side likely for the rest of this heat race. But as I say it, Barker clears. And we're already at the checkered flag. Patrick Spangler, your heat winner. Main, Chapman, Kemper, Barker, Landis, Rayome. That's how they finish. I must have been half a lap off. Got too excited calling the end of that. Heat 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Joseph Grandy starts on pole position. He's in the 518 next to 100 grand. Brennan Lacey, the low line master, in the 114. Row number 2, Stephen Fernberg in the 29. To his outside, it's Ros Carino in the number 10. The 3rd row has Dean Reynolds in the 79 starting 5th. To his outside, Barry Goldner in car 36. Final car on the grid, it's pumped by Clay Christopherson in the 51. Dino, take it easy with that wheelie. Let's see what he can give us here off the corner. We always love Dean Reynolds' real wheelies. think I'll just grid up here, get ready to go racing. Gary Spangler checking in, as always, rooting for Patrick. Set for the green for heat race number 2. It's underway. Grandy immediately tries to clear Brennan Lacey, but one exit for the 114. Stays side by side with Hunter Grant. Brennan Lacey leads lap number 1. Greta tries to clear. Oh, big ride here. Holy moly! Brennan Lacey up on the top shelf of the fence where Mama hides the cookies. And somehow he landed it with minimal damage. How in the hell is that car still going? Now I'll take it to the infield. Play it safe than sorry here. Watch the replay of how high he got off the ground. Holy moly, what a camera shot there. That's a ride and a half. Meanwhile, we haven't mentioned your race leader, Ross Carrera, has taken the top spot away from Joseph Grandy. Dean Reynolds still in third. And Stephen Fernberg, that's the 4-car field at the moment. White flag waves, 1 to go here for the boss, Ross Carrera, in car number 10, looking to start on the front row this evening. Well, everyone tries to get one extra spot, not going to work out for any of them. Ross Carrera, Heat 2 winner. Grandy second, Reynolds third. Fernberg in fourth, Christofferson fifth, Barry Goldner in sixth. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. And here's how they line up. On the pole, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson. In the 127 next to him, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in car 83. Row 2, Bob DeGood. He's in the number 7 to his outside. It's the Vanderbilt Master, Jesse Bandy in car 49. Row 3, Brian Moore Sr. in the 55. Next to him, Randy Shrees in the 56. Rounding out the grid is Pat Boyce in car number 41. I'm still amazed with that ride that Lacey took of the 114. Holy cow. All right, should be taking the green flag here this time. Get everyone transfers into the show this evening. Winner starts inside of row number 2. Green flag is out. Heat race number 3 underway at Cedar Lake. Jesse Exon with about a half-second advantage early here on Brandon Dittmer. Great head of steam off in turn 4 for the Spider Monkey as Bandy and the Good go side by side. Dittmer though up on the wall in front of the 49. Bandy forced to lift to keep his nose clean. Dittmer trying to grab that 2 spot back though from Bob to go in the 7. Dittmer has it. Now DeGood tries to hang on to third here on Jesse Bandy, the Vanderbilt Master. Nearly took that away. And Bandy just about kissed the wall. I did that time. Got a good smooch to it. We're trying to grab that race lead from Jesse Exit while the top two have just about branched away. Great exit for the 83. Does he pull up on Atkinson? He cannot. Meanwhile, DeGood and Bandy stay wing to wing through 1 and 2. I thought for a moment there was going to be some heavy contact there. Bandy with the slider line to gain some speed. Here goes Stittmer for the race lead. As he tries to go high, wide, and handsome off the corner. Couldn't gain anything on board the Spider Monkey. He's there with them. 1 lap to go. Who's going to be the winner here in Heat Race 3? Dittmer catches the ball. Atkinson still in it. Side by side through 3 and 4 to the checkered flag. Who takes it? Dittmer steals it on Atkinson. Bandy third, DeGood fourth, Shreves in fifth, Boyce sixth, and Moore seventh. Gonna go to break here. When we come back, featured time of the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So this is likely going to glitch over here before we go green for our feature, so bear with us here. Warm-up still continuing. Ross Corinna currently the quickest on track at a 12:53, followed by Joseph Grandy at a 12:66, Brennan Lacey, Blake Chapman each at 12:67, and Dean Reynolds 12:68. So ready to go at it for our here for our 35 lap feature. Let's meet the field and give you your starting lineup once we have it. I think, are they gridding now? Yes, they are. So here's what we got. It's on the pole, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. In car number 39, to his outside, it's the boss, Ross Corinna, in the 10. Row number 2, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and Rick Main in the 187. Row number 3, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson, the 127, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson, and Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row 4, the Salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20, next to Dean Reynolds in the 79, and Jesse Bandy next to Jeff Kemper. That's the top 10. Stephen Fernberg and Bob DeGood make up row number 6. Row 7, that is Jeff Barker and Clay Christopherson, putt-putt. The 8th row, Randy Shreves in the 56, and the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. Row 9, Barry Goldner in the 36, and Pat Boyce in the 41. And rounding out your top 20, Slide Job Scotty, Scott Rayoma the 4, and Brendan Lacey in the 114. Final driver on the grid this evening, Brian Moore Sr. He's in the 55. Couple of drivers starting for the back tonight, so that puts Joseph Grandy and Ross Corinna on the front row. Set for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. It is time to shake it bake, because where else would you rather be than right here, right now, off of turn number 4 from coast to coast. It's showtime at Cedar Lake. Joseph Grandy brought the field to green. Ross Corinna hugs in the second spot. Good battle for third. It's just over Jesse Exit over Blake Chapman. Dean Reynolds racing Bandy on the track there. Now he tries to grab fourth here from the Salesman off the corner. Chapman edges out Dino at the line. Atkinson takes a peek underneath that Ross Corinna, meanwhile, for the second spot. Atkinson, though, sipping his tires for right now. Corinna follows Joseph Grandy for right now off at turn 2. Grandy showing off some sparks there. With the tail tank for the fuel bar is up right next to the wall. Reynolds up the hill for just a moment. Gonna allow Blake Chapman to close in and try and regain the 4th position. Reynolds trying to take away 3rd here from the Pink Panther, and same with Blake Chapman. The high side, the place to be for right now in this feature early. Meanwhile, Corinna has caught Joseph Grandy in the race for the lead on board the boss. First caution, though, waves here on lap number 8. We got Pat Boyce and Brian Moore Sr. together. Boyce sideways and 2 big impacts, and I believe Brian Moore Sr., yep, he went upside down. And look at the 41 crab walking. On board that 55 of Brian Moore Sr., not been the night he's wanted for sure. Just didn't expect it, and up and over he goes. First caution of the night here. On lap number 7 of this race, or lap number 8 rather of this race. Joseph Grandy, Ross Corinna, row 1. Jesse Atkinson, Dean Reynolds, row 2. Jesse Bandy, Blake Chapman, row 3. Fernberg, Kemper, Landis, Barker, the top 10. Grandy restarts and is gone. And it's 3 wide for 3rd. Atkinson trying to thread the needle. Reynolds, though, able to clear, and Blake Chapman may lose himself a spot to Jesse Bandy, but the Bandy Boatmaster up the wall. And this allows Kemper and Fernberg to each close in. Kemper tries to get the bite off at turn 2, but Bandy shuts the door as he looks underneath on the salesman for the 5th spot. Bandy edges out the 20 at the line. Now can he try and go around the outside of Jesse Hickson? Big clear there. Just slammed the door right in Chapman's face. For the race lead, meanwhile, here comes the boss. Ross Corinna tries to go around the outside. Grandy shuts the door. Crossover move from the Ross Corinna. Slide job by the boss. Makes it easy. Grandy counters it back at the line. I think it was the 518 by a hair. Very close to call, though. Slider by Ross. Easy crossover here by Grandy. The 518 still leads. Dean Reynolds with the best view in the house. Watching the battle for the top spot. And now he tries to battle with Joseph Grandy. Could this allow Corinna to pull away, possibly? We'll just have to see. Here goes Grandy again for the race lead. Corinna shuts the door. And again tries to use the slider line. Top 3 cars all with a Rablakia here for the race lead. Halfway home, but we go to yellow. Landis, Lacey and Maine also caught up. It's right in front of the leader. Heavy damage for Brennan Lacey. A look at what happened to the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. This may have happened in front with Lacey. As he goes around, catches Rick Main. Scott Riom also involved. Brennan Lacey's on board. We'll give you a good idea. That's Patrick Spengler in front. Just caught the wall in turn 2. And just lost control easily. Rick Main on board. In the back, challenging Bob DeGood for a spot. Nowhere to go. So Fields off for turn number 2, doubled up. We're going to watch for the aerial shot here as we are past the halfway point. And now we've got a new leader in Ross Corinna in the 10. Grandy stuck in 2nd. Reynolds, Chapman, Bandy round out the top 5. Bandy tried to get the launch. Corinna easily clears Joseph Grandy. 3 wide to turn number 1. Grandy tries to force the issue. But it's Atkinson that tries to play the benefactor here. Can he grab 5th? Dealing with Reynolds, though, right in front for the race lead. Grandy. No, actually, check that for 2nd. That's Blake Chapman trying to grab the runner-up spot off for 2. And Chapman is, no, that's actually for 3rd. I'm sorry. So Blake Chapman, the salesman, up to P3. We go back to yellow. As for Brennan Lacey, once again in the 114, that'll likely put an end to his night. Had he been trying to drive with that for... No, there was something prior happened. This originally did not bring the caution flag out. Watch Lacey and Scott Rayome. Rayome catches Terry Landis right in front of Brendan Lacey, and both of them go around. And Lacey's right front is just destroyed, where he's not going to be able to do anything except slam the wall. Not just once, but twice. And I think the throttle may have stuck too at the same time. One lap until we take the green flag, and as we await the restart, again a reminder, Knoxville Nationals. Qualifying nights begin Monday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. Same with The Hard Knocks and Pole Scramble. Actually, all this will start at 7:30 with vets and first responders, volunteer provisional races too. Pole Scramble, Hard Knocks 7:30. 7 o'clock is when we begin Championship Thursday. We're back to green, 11 laps to go. As Corinna holds serve here. I think I may be having some internet issues. I think I am. All right, I think we're all good. 10 laps of race to go. Corinna hangs on to the race lead for now. Granny tries to diamond off the corner, but the caution flag waves. With 10 laps of racing to go, and I believe it was Terry Landis and Steven Fernberg that got together. Barker hooks Fernberg, and around they go. Great camera shot as Fernberg goes upside down, and Landis was committed top, nowhere to go. Right on board with Steven. That's Barker right behind. And there's some contact off of Christopherson. That sent him upside down. And the hat is gone off of that chassis. Try it again here on this restart. With Corinna remaining the leader with 9 laps of race to go. Granny got side by side before the yellow flag flew. Can he try it once again? No. We'll just have to wait and see. First driver on the bottom with Jesse Bandy. Patrick Spangler also there as well. Back to caution. This time it's Pat Boyce and Rick Main around. Watch the two. These are, I believe this was in the back of the pack. Main catches Bobby Good, and it's just a stack up. Boys just did not expect it. On board with Rick Main in the 187. Was trying to save it, but Pat Boyce was right there, not expecting it. So I believe take 3 on this restart. We come back to the green again. Corinna the leader, Grandy second, Chapman third, Reynolds fourth, Atkinson fifth. Your biggest mover of 5 spots tonight, Jeff Barker, but technically because he had to start for the rear of the field this evening. Patrick Spangler, your biggest mover, as he is running in 7. 7 laps to go. Who tests the bottom first here? Amongst the front runners, it's Blake Chapman lurking low. Bandy tried to do the same thing, but forced to tuck it back in line. Ooh, Grandy caught the wall and nearly damaged the top wing because of it. 5 laps of racing remain. Is the track just too slick where no one can really make a pass here? Is it where Ross Corinna can just keep the top and take the win? About to find out. Oh, trouble from 4th on back. Reynolds and Atkinson are hooked. Oh, no. Great runs by them up near the front, and their night is done. Dino brings it on to pit road. What happened here? Dean catches the wall at the worst time possible. Atkinson, Banny. And Banny loses, I think, a spot or two because of it. But that brings out the caution flag. That's right on board with Jesse Atkinson. They simply hooked here. Can't even hear the engines at this point. Lights are off again, and this time we'll have a 2-lap shootout. Nope, 3-lap shootout rather. Does Joseph Grandy have anything left in the tank? About to find out. We're back to green. First driver on the bottom. Looks like everyone's going to stay on the top. Big better factor on that situation. Jeff Barker running in 5th after starting in 13th. Right now, your biggest mover of the race. Jesse Bandy crosses over on Clay Christopherson as he was looking for the 6th position. White flag waves under the final lap. As it's Ross Carina out in front. And the Phantom Motorsports. R&K Farms, number 10 off for turn 4. The boss of the checkered flag. Ross Carina's 3rd win of the season at Cedar Lake. Grandy 2nd, Chapman 3rd, Spangler 4th, and Jeff Barker with a 5th place run. So how about not just Barker in 5th, but also Bob D. Good finishing 8th. A nice run for the driver of the number 7. And obviously the heartbreaks have to go to Dean Reynolds in 15th. And I guess you could say Brennan Lacey in 18th. Not too sure on that. But a lot of drivers that had some good runs going just didn't get what they expected. Bringing the top 3 here, and we've got your top 2, so we do have your top 3 now, so we'll bring in the 3rd place finisher and Blake Chapman. Blake, nice run for you tonight, but how tough was it to pass out there this evening?
Yeah, it was really difficult. We had the car set up to run the bottom and also move around just a little bit, and that bottom was really gone from the very start. I felt like it was there from the warm-up, but yeah, as soon as the green dropped, that bottom was gone, so we had to search around a little bit. We were able to get a couple of guys running the middle of the bottom, which was pretty good for a little while, but then, jumped up top, and that was just much quicker, so I had to be up there, and we were able to get around Dean on a restart, which is really big, and then, on my screen, I don't know if it was a glitch or what, but Grandy was hitting the wall about every corner, so he was keeping me on my toes for sure. Just couldn't drive it in as hard as I wanted to. We had a little too much gear in this thing, but overall, we had no incident points. We're able to keep it clean and coming home on the podium. Can't complain too much.
So you got some bonus points out of that. So well done. Sell some popcorn for us.
Yeah, first I got to thank the parents and grandparents for watching. Got to thank all the guys on the KSR, especially Terry for running with me tonight. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. Got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring this division. Got to thank Steve at Steve's Custom Golf Clubs. Got to thank Maurer Farm Management. And, of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They have some of the most delicious popcorn you'll ever taste. You can try it out for yourself by heading over to their website and using code CART at checkout for 15% off of your purchase. And I got to thank everyone involved in putting this league on and you for broadcasting every week, Marty.
Alrighty, man. Great job tonight. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Marty.
Blake Chapman, your third place finisher. We now head to the man that finished in P2, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Joseph, nice run tonight, but man, oh man, that has got to be a tough pill to swallow at that one point where you're about to take the lead back from Ross Corinne and then boom, yellow flag.
Yeah, it would have been nice to, race a little bit, but, my fault for giving up the lead in the first place. I really didn't think the top would be the quickest way around, but I thought riding in the middle because it was so slick. But after he got around me, just follow leader after that for the most part.
Still a great run for you, though, tonight. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Catalytic Recovery, West End Tone and Repair, Hinkle Homes, Mad Rabbit, RTB, Horizon Sim Sports, girlfriend Olivia, all the guys at Coast to Coast, and you, man, for doing the broadcast.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Great job. We'll talk to you next week.
Nice.
So Joseph Grandy, your second place finisher, but now we head to victory lane. Your winner is the boss, Ross Corinna. Congratulations on the win. Take me through your pass for the race win there on Joseph Grandy.
I don't know. I felt like the line changed pretty quick there. I think I ran the bottom in 1 and 2 a couple laps, and it was okay. But then I saw him kind of pulling away, and he was kind of staying in the middle, kind of slowly moving his way up. But I just decided it was his time to go. I was going to have to make the pass sooner or later. I kind of figured the track was going to slick off pretty good and then kind of be a one-lane track around the top. So once I get to that point, it's basically just hit your marks, don't make mistakes, and don't get caught into someone else's mistake. And luckily, like I said, I was able to get around him before he moved up, because I think if he would have moved up before I did get around him, it probably would have been a different story here.
So basically, safe to say that you made the pass at the right time.
Yeah, and then I guess I did get saved by a yellow too, because I think he was about to slide me when the first or second yellow came out. So I think that's 2 weeks in a row now where I got saved by the bell. So got to thank the yellow flag for that, I guess.
Next week, Knoxville Nationals. Will we see you in any of the nights, especially championship night? If so, how do you feel going on in for the biggest race in coast-to-coast history?
Yep, I'm pretty sure I'll be there. I don't know. I mean, confidence is pretty high right now. Obviously, one little mistake can drain that confidence pretty quick. But I feel like we got a pretty quick car right now, so hopefully we can carry the momentum over to the big one.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Phantom Motorsports guys, Velocity Race Design, M9 Performance for the setup. You guys, are you up in the booth putting on the show, and everybody behind the scenes at Coast to Coast setting up the league, and Flatline Racing Bodies for being the title sponsor for the Renegades.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go. Great job tonight. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
So the boss takes the win here in Renegades competition. Congratulations to him and all of our performers here this evening. And again, a reminder, next week we've got the Mike Westbrook Memorial Knoxville Nationals benefiting the Steve King Foundation. Monday through Thursday. To sign up, head to c2cro.com for more details. Just click on the Knoxville Nationals button and you'll see the link to donate and register, and how the event's going to work, Knoxville Nationals points format. So with that, that'll do it for us. We'll bid you adieu on this Monday night. On behalf of everyone here at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and the sponsors, and our great crew of admins, Marty Sakala saying so long here this evening. Congrats to your winners, Trevor Giroux in Open 358, Clay Christofferson in the Rebels, and your winner in Renegades, Ross Corinna. So long.